Grief Karga said you were coming.
What else did he say?
He said you were the best in the parsec. Bounty hunting is a complicated profession.
You are a Mandalorian. Your ancestors rode the great mythosaur.
Your name will be legendary.
I don't know if you heard, but the Empire is gone.
We have you 4-1.
I like those odds.
Hello and welcome to Mandalorian Minute, a Who Watches podcast about the Disney Plus series The Mandalorian. I'm Travis Fishburne.
I'm Ryan DeVere.
And I'm Dustin Meadows.
And this week we'll be discussing Season 1, Chapter 5, The Gunslinger. So there's a lot of exciting things going on in this episode. we get to see some
familiar planet.
Yeah.
Got a reel for a few dollars more vibe out of this one.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Also with the title, The Gunslinger.
Yeah, of course.
Definitely leans into that. So first impressions of this episode, what do you guys think?
Again, solid episode. They keep doing kind of all these stock Western stories and putting them into The Mandalorian, and I will watch 10 seasons of this.
Yeah.
It's great. The episode's done really well. There's a couple of times where like you think it's gonna dive one way into a trope that it's playing into, and then it jumps the other, which I thought was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
That it genuinely kept me guessing. I feel like this is the most that we've seen Baby Yoda sidelined so far,
or the least we've seen of Baby Yoda.
Yeah. Well, that's
episode
like
1. Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty much absent for the majority of the episode.
Being babysat.
By Amy Sedaris.
Yeah.
Who, I didn't recognize at first. My roommate said, "Is that the Strangers with Candy lady?" I was like, "Nah, that's not her." And then the credits roll, I was like, "Oh, damn, it is." I'm so. Like, clearly, gun to my head, I couldn't tell you what she looks like outside of that show.
Oh.
And I know that I've seen her in other stuff, too. But, like, I always associate her with Jerry Blank from Strangers with Candy. So, like, that is the look. It's like, if she doesn't look like this weird, awkward lady, then it's not Amy Sedaris.
She really didn't look like herself in this either, though. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if many people... The only giveaway to me was her voice, which is usually the giveaway.
Yeah. And her outfit too. One of my friends made a joke that she looked like a cosplay Ripley.
Yep, she looked just like Ripley,
which I thought was really funny. The jumpsuit was so good. Then we got a nice little appearance from those maintenance droids,
the pit droids,
Phantom Menace, the pit droids.
Oh yeah, maybe we'll get some of those Lego sets again.
As soon as I saw it, you got to hit them on the nose.
No, it was good to see those again. Like, they've thrown in little nods here and there to the prequels that we really haven't gotten in the movies
barbecued
yet.
Kawarkian monkey lizards or whatever Salacious Crumb is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wackian. Yeah. They
Yeah. And then we get a dogfight in this episode.
Yeah,
which we've gone. This is the first time we've seen a dogfight.
Mm-hmm.
Which I was wondering if we were going to get any with it. Typically being so grounded, more westerny than sci-fi.
Begins right with one too. We get the context for it as it's happening, but there's no build up to it. You're just right in the middle of the action.
Blasters firing.
So after
which is pretty familiar to Star Wars though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So after sustaining damage to his ship during a dogfight, the Mandalorian must dock at the Mos Eisley spaceport for repairs. And while seeking a job, he encounters Toro Calican, a rookie bounty hunter who is on his first job while trying to get into the guild. The Mandalorian agrees to help him track down the deadly Fennec Shand. After capturing her, Fennec persuades Toro to turn on the Mandalorian in order to achieve legendary status. Toros kills her and then attempts to take the child. The Mandalorian dispatches of Toro and is able to pay for the repairs to his ship before leaving the planet.
Yeah. Toros, played by Jake Cannavale, Bobby Cannavale's son, who I was not aware, because I spent the entire episode going like, this guy looks familiar.
Oh, when I looked up the name, I was like, I wonder if he's Bobby Cannavale's
Yeah, as soon as I saw
son.
Cannavale, I was like, there's no, that's got to be his kid or something. And Bobby Cannavale's son, which tracks. like right down to the face and everything. Yeah, God, this episode, was a lot of fun. This episode felt sparser than the other episodes too, because for a good chunk of it, it's the Mandalorian and Tauros, like just kind of traveling together and like setting up the ambush.
Yeah.
Which is really fun because we've not gotten that yet, which again makes me think of For a Few Dollars More as well, because it's largely Clint Eastwood and Lee Van Cleef for so much of the runtime, just traveling and all that.
Heavy parody, at least in the cantina, to Tauros and Han.
Yeah.
They were definitely...
At first, you're just like, this guy...
Yeah, that shot was so good.
Doesn't deserve to be sitting there like that.
Yeah.
Well, now there's progress, because now there's a droid running the bar.
Yeah, they got rid of the droid detectors on the walls.
Yeah.
And you got an EV9 looking droid.
Yeah,
we
serve
got two
their
of them
kind.
there. Yeah.
You still got all the IG-88 heads.
Yeah, I was wondering
trophies.
what what the Mandalorian thinks of. Oh, there's some like IG head units back there. But the look of the cantina itself, it looked so good, and not simply from just like, they were able to like physically recreate it. That's been done before, but it was specifically for me, I've watched A New Hope within the past week. It's the lighting of it.
Yeah.
It is how it was lit made it look so true to how it looks in that movie. It was crazy.
We also we get that amazing shot that I think was teased in the trailer of the stormtrooper helmets on the pikes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they used that a lot.
We finally get that.
Yeah,
which was really cool.
Yeah, you've been seeing it so much. You're like, oh yeah, they're finally showing us that.
Yeah.
With no real context to it.
No, you don't understand like what the Empire's presence there.
Yeah.
How it kind of.
So one of the things, I had my fiance finally sit down and watch the pilot with me, and we got to talking about it because like the stuff with the client and like his stormtroopers, it's kind of like a very Boys in Brazil type thing with like the Nazis hiding out in South America like after the war, like is the vibe that we're getting. And that's kind of the conclusion that I've started to draw, is like they're hiding, but like they're plotting at the same time, which is kind of cool. And like, and we've seen here on Mos Eisley, like two things have changed in the time that, of what we know of Star Wars, and that's droids are allowed in this bar now and running the bar, and that the Empire is not a power here. So it's really cool seeing Mos Eisley, especially seeing Mos Eisley so perfectly recreated, like it was in New Hope.
Yeah.
But in a completely different like timeline and context now.
Yeah. I wonder if the Mandalorian has been there before. And if he decided like, oh, I'm going to go to Chalmun's Cantina because they don't allow droids there. It's a good place. And then he goes in and he's like, oh, they changed it.
That's a very good possibility, because he even says to Amy Sedaris' character, no droids, when she's like, well, it's going to take me longer to repair it, and everything's like, no droids.
Yeah, you don't have to say it twice.
Yeah.
But,
which, again, I'm really, like, I think we can obviously trace the droid thing to him being orphaned, because we saw the Super Destroyer droid.
Yeah.
But I'm really curious if we're going to get more of that.
Yeah, I think we will. I think they'll continue trickling out a little bit more of that backstory.
Yeah. Maybe we'll just get it in passing, like how we find out that Indiana Jones hates snakes.
Oh, yeah. You pick up on that if you're really paying attention.
Oh, he's going to fall into a
pit of droids.
Yeah, on a train car for a circus.
A train car full of gonk droids. Gonk droids and mouse bots.
We get confirmation in this episode that I can bring you in hot or I can bring you in cold is his catchphrase, apparently.
He's like, that's my line.
Yeah. Well, that was again, it's like just having rewatched the pilot a couple of days ago, that's the first thing we hear him say.
Yeah.
Which,
so, as far as catchphrases go, that's all right.
It's a solid catchphrase. I mean, it's better than "He's no good to me dead," which he even says at some point, some variation in one of the episodes. But yeah, like as soon as he, like, that's his trigger. It's like, this guy's like trying to steal on my style. Like, I'm gonna slam on the brakes and blast his ass.
Where was he headed that Tatooine was like
So
the
close.
closest stop?
I mean, it seems like he's trying to get as far away
Geonosis?
from anything as possible.
Geonosis is less than a parsec away, according to Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
Okay. Why would you be going to Geonosis?
I don't know.
Especially if you hate droids.
Go spit on the grave of the poser Jango Fett.
Oh, maybe.
Ah, yeah.
He left
Dance
some
on the
Beskar
grave
armor
of the
there.
Mandalorian pretender.
Yeah, that's true. There's Beskar there.
But yeah, I mean, it makes like, because again, like when they went to the Krill farm, that planet, like he's trying to find isolated.
Mm-hmm.
So it would make sense that he'd be heading in the general direction of Tatooine if it's further away from everything.
Yeah, but obviously that's not his destination. He stopped there out of necessity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so we didn't then. So the opening scene further proves to me that it's Baby Yoda who the tracking is on.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. He doesn't have a bounty on his head necessarily. He's just out of the guild.
Yeah, because the guy even offered him. He's like, "Just give me the child, and
yeah,
maybe
they
I'll
want
let
the
you
asset."
go."
Yeah. Which we've kind of already put that together, but this really feels like it
just
solidifies
further drives it home.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes to try and get work, and he can't get work because he's not really part of the guild. And so he works with this kid.
Doesn't they say that the guild has no presence there? Or am I making that up? I feel like there was a line that the droid said.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
or
that's right.
Not as much.
Yeah, the droid says something like the guild has no presence here.
Yeah,
droids don't like the guild apparently.
Yeah,
unless IG 11 or 88 or any of the IG units are working for him.
Unless it's Dengar.
What'd you guys think of Toro? He
rubbed me the wrong way immediately.
Oh yeah, I was like, there's no way this doesn't end with the Mandalorian perforating this guy.
Oh, I mean, yeah, just from the get-go, the character itself did not feel like natural to me. The look of him, he just felt like, oh, is this like from a CW show?
He felt a little bit, like a CW show or like an 80s mall rat kind of kid.
I felt like he belonged. I feel like it was just telegraphed that he was going to turn.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was really obvious that, like, it was going to come to a point where, regardless of who made the call, like, he was going to be pitted against the Mandalorian.
Yeah. Like, pretty early on.
Because the whole time I was like, there's no way, like, he's... Because, like, even when they stop by the repair shop and they get the speeder bikes, like, he's, like, trying to press for information, and the Mandalorian's like, it's none of your business or whatever. Like, he's trying to move him along so that he doesn't find out about the child.
Yeah, and immediately when he, like, stopped there and he was, like, taking a look at Amy Sedaris holding the Baby Yoda, I'm like, this is a really bad move to let him witness. Like, he knows something now. This is not good.
Yeah. Oh, well. Hey, we have, what's her name?
Ming-Na Wen?
Yeah, Ming-Na Wen is in this episode.
Street Fighter the movies, Chun-Li.
Yeah, voice of Mulan.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that. All I really recognized her from was Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
I forgot she's in that. My Association is a movie from 1994.
Jumped right to Street Fighter, which it's impressive.
Although, to be fair, her scene with Raul Julia is one of the best parts in that entire movie. So,
okay, is that saying a lot?
I mean, Raul Julia is the best part of that movie. So yes,
I'll take your word for it.
Oh, it's bad, but Raul Julia he's trying to have the most fun he can while battling stomach cancer the entire time.
Oh no!
Yeah, his last role.
No.
Film dedicated to him. Vaya con Dios, Raul, the first thing in the credits.
Well, that's
anyway.
Unfortunate. But yeah.
We're all Julie's having fun, I'm just saying.
I was first take of the cast. I was hoping she made it through because I liked her as a character.
Well, we don't know that she's dead. Because even the Wikia just says that she was shot.
Yeah.
I think it's a safe bet that she might be dead. But
she was shackled and shot and left in the Tatooine desert.
She could be cloned.
But she's found by somebody at the end.
Oh, that's true. Anyway. Well, let's get to that.
Yeah, we'll get there.
We'll
get there.
Yeah. She plays Fennec Shand. who is an elite mercenary. She made her name killing for all the top crime syndicates, including the Hutts.
Yeah, which is this the first mention we've had of the Hutts?
Yeah, for a long time. I think, yeah, at least in live action, the last time they mentioned the Hutts was episode 1.
Yeah.
Clone Wars has a lot of the Hutts in it.
Yeah.
And what's it, Zero?
Yeah, I'm really curious to see if we'll actually get any Hutts. I feel like we have to if the show goes on more than a season. We have to see Hutts at some point.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be tricky. It's like pulling off Dr. Manhattan.
I bet they could do it with prosthetics and practical effects.
Yeah.
Can make a real good job of.
It takes like 9 people to operate one of those things.
That's all right. They can do it. I believe in them.
They just pump a bunch of comedians in there.
Oh, yeah. They've been hiring nothing but comedians.
There you go.
It's
I bet
working.
Patton Oswalt would voice them gladly.
Oh, I'm sure.
I would love a Hutt voiced by Patton Oswalt.
Right?
That'd be great.
I'm sure
he
he'd
would be in
down for
heaven.
it. I mean, if Posehn was literally willing to play a land speeder taxi driver who dies in the 1
20
minute
seconds,
of screen
yeah.
time he has.
Aw. And
So
still no Bill
he
Burr.
posted on his Instagram like a shot of the TV behind him, and he was so excited. He's like, "I'm canon Star Wars now." It's like, oh, what a pure joy that man is experiencing right now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of any episodes where there weren't comedians now. I think episode 2 would be the only one.
Yeah, well, and that's because a solid third of that episode is the Mudhorn.
Yeah, there weren't any other
Yeah,
human
it was
characters.
Jawas,
Yeah.
it was Jawas and Krill.
Yep.
Or it was Quill.
Yeah.
Quill was the character. Krill's what they found.
Krill was the next step. Or
Yeah.
a couple episodes later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they get on the swoop bikes and they go out searching in the desert and they come across some sand people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Tusken Raiders is so good.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I shouldn't be using that term anymore.
God, yeah, that's. I don't remember what it is that Toro says, but the Mandalorian just says, "Tell him yourself," and then just turns. There's just
Right
Tusken Raiders right there. Because I was expecting him to jump up in front of the scope like they do.
As we know they do, yes.
Because that's what happened with the blurgs in the first episode when he's like using the scope, like it just rears its ugly head right up in front of him.
Which that was a funny callback to the fact that they sneak up on Luke.
Yeah.
However, Luke was on like a rocky terrain where they could like climb up and catch him off guard.
Scale the mountain face.
But Toro's looking through the macronoculars.
So they just walk up beside him.
Well, yeah, and the Mandalorian is just standing there. He watches the whole thing happen.
Yeah. There's this awkward 20 seconds of them like, shh.
We're gonna surprise him.
Which is funny because so clearly the Mandalorian doesn't see any reason to feel threatened by them.
Yeah.
Which I'm really curious about because I wonder if that maybe speaks to the origin of wherever he's from. Mm-hmm. It's this is going to be a dumb question, but are the Tusken Raiders, they're wearing masks, right?
Yeah.
That's not their face.
No, they're
people.
Well, that's not been as far as the new canon is concerned. They could be alien underneath there, but they are.
But they could be human.
Yes, exactly. There's something underneath.
So it could stand to reason that the Mandalorian came up with Tusken Raiders. Maybe
could be.
That's a long shot, but I mean, again, he clearly he knows something about them that most normal people don't know about Tusken Raiders.
Yeah,
maybe he just associates with them. He knows what it's like to never be able to take off the mask.
Yeah, and that could be true as well.
Listen,
because even Obi-Wan is warning Luke of how dangerous the Tusken Raiders can be in numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, the Mandalorian clearly is not threatened. He's even kind of callous about it. He's like, "I'll tell him yourself."
Yeah, and we get to see them communicate for the first time.
Yeah,
with
which
sign
is really
language.
cool.
A cool thing about that is there's an actual deaf actor who got to play one of them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and use sign language. So that's a cool thing. But
I'm always a little disappointed when you get Tusken Raiders without the.
That's I mean, if it weren't for that, Tusken Raiders would fare very well in A Quiet Place. Because they already communicate via sign language, apparently, so they don't need to talk. They just
sneak up on you.
They just get real cocky when they think they've got you numbered.
Anyway,
Outgunned or out-gaffy sticked, as it were.
speaking of guns, throughout this, Mandalorian doesn't have his rifle.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
It's like one of the first times
I
we've
thought it
seen
was
him go
weird, especially because like they take up positions so far away from Fenchek's sniper post.
up. And he knows the terrain. Like, he knows that he's in a desert.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought that was a little
It's a
interesting.
little bit of a hole, I think, as to why. Yeah.
Yeah, because like almost every
It
other
wasn't
time
a-
he's had
yeah.
it with him.
Yeah.
And it's like it'd be one thing for him to go into town and not have it while he's looking for work, but to actively go on a bounty.
Yeah, we know that
Seems
he
like
went
a
back to
bonehead
his ship.
move that he didn't take it with him.
Knowing that he's going on a bounty against a sniper.
Yeah, a mercenary. He like
The most dangerous.
yeah, like that even he like has some regard for clearly because he cautions the kid.
Yeah. No, he
And I was
just
like,
leaves it
no,
back
I'm just gonna
there.
take my sidearm and hope that my flamethrower has the range.
That does seem to be his favorite. That's his
Yeah.
go-to.
But then we get that great like that Western trope, the one we see in post-apocalyptic movies all the time, where they rig the dead body to the dewback, and of course, like it's just to draw them out to get sniped.
Yeah.
It's such a common thing, but I'm always a sucker for it. It's my favorite scene in Book of Eli, when the girl's like begging for help and like
Yeah,
10
yeah,
raiders like jump out of nowhere and attack Denzel.
Oh, and then he backs up under the
The thing and just takes them
highway.
all out with a machete.
Ah, jeez. I need to watch that again.
Yeah.
That's been just a little bit too long.
But
Anyway.
yeah, I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for scenes like that. So like every time I'm playing Red Dead Redemption 2 and somebody's like, help, help. I was like, nah, 10 guys are going to and I just shoot them on the spot. I've only been wrong once so far.
But that person yelling for help could legit be like innocent in the scenario.
I'm just saying,
Then you
I
get,
only
like,
got
the
I only
Saving
got a
Private
bounty
Ryan.
put on me one time that I did it. So
I like that you get the immediate response, though, in like
Yeah.
Red Dead.
it's like Meatloaf said, 9 out of 10 ain't bad. But yeah, of course, then the Beskar takes the blast.
Which he's kind of surprised about, it sounded like.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, like, it feels like Beskar is kind of can take a hit from about anything. But, like, I'm sure, I don't know. I was just
'cause he
surprised
said
that he was surprised.
From that,
Yeah, well, because
from
I
that
think
distance
at this
it held up,
point,
he
this is
said.
probably the heaviest weapon he's taken a hit directly from. Mm-hmm. Because like the gun she's messing with is pretty heavy duty looking. Like every other time, it's usually been like little side like pistols or like stormtrooper rifles.
just blasters.
Yeah, no, he didn't take any direct hits from the ATST.
Yeah, oh yeah, that would have been
Curious what would have happened then.
or a bowcaster.
I saw somebody post on Reddit, I think, that said he's literally wearing plot armor. Like, that's literally what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it works.
No, Grief Karga was wearing plot armor.
Oh, that's true.
But
At least it wasn't a book.
Yeah, oh
So
yeah. If
many
it had been a book, I would have been like, all right.
the book stopped the laser. I am curious though if we'll get to see the durability of Beskar. Like, what's its limit? Will we actually see somebody get killed in it? Maybe.
Probably, yeah, because we
Yeah.
haven't seen any of the Mandalorians die yet, I don't think.
I
Not
think
that we
it's
know of.
theoretically should hold up against lightsabers.
That's
Interesting.
That's what I remember from kind of the extended universe stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how canon that is anymore or not.
Yeah.
Oh,
do
maybe
not
we'll get
know.
like a Red Sun crossover where we get the Mandalorian and a Jedi teaming up. Do a little cowboy
could.
samurai action.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that would be so good.
Think it could
Does anybody
happen.
have Jon Favreau's phone number?
Hey,
I got a pitch
I'm
for
sure
an
you
episode.
haven't thought about this, but what if there were Jedi in Star Wars?
No, but
not really touched on that much.
Specifically doing like because Red Sun was this movie with Charles Bronson and Toshiro Mifune from the 70s.
Yeah.
Where they literally it's a cowboy and a samurai that team up to retrieve something for Toshiro Mifune's master. It didn't do very well at all, but it's an amazing concept and outside of Shanghai Noon,
Yeah.
I'm hard pressed to think of when that concept's actually really been put into.
I would go a different direction with that though, rather than a Jedi, which would be cool, right? I think I'd rather see like a turret, like a one of the Wills.
Oh, okay.
You have the similar kind of background, the similar tone, but a little less explored, a little more.
Only if they
enigmatic.
bring back Donnie Yen as a different character.
Oh my gosh, please.
Yeah, but he, like, you know, Baze and Chirrut are the only two characters we've ever seen like that.
But we know there's more. I don't know. That's just
more Guardians.
I wonder if is there a Star Wars equivalent of Ronin? Because that would be badass.
Ahsoka. That'd basically be Ahsoka.
Okay. There you go. I've not watched any of the animated stuff, so I'm in the dark on that.
I mean,
and potentially Ezra
not
whenever he shows back up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I like the concept though. I think
I
it'd be really
think it'd be a
cool
lot
to
of
have.
fun. So back to the episode. So they get shot at, and they're collecting themselves behind the dune.
And they have to wait until night. He says that she's got the high ground.
Yeah.
Don't try it, Anakin.
That was.
You underestimate my power. Don't try it.
There's no chance at all that was incidental. That was.
No, there were quite a few lines in here that were clearly not incidental.
Part of me was wishing that he had somebody else in the Razor Crest with him during that dog fight. Because, like, especially when he barrel rolls, I was like, man, if somebody had just told him to try spinning, that's a neat trick. How great would that have been?
He's bringing in another bounty that's a different comedian.
Can we have Need Nub with subtitles say try spinning? That's a neat trick.
Oh, that'd been nice. Yeah, from that dogfight at the beginning, clips from that dogfight are in the trailer. And I remember like freeze framing and looking at that, actually thinking that the ship pursuing him was a Naboo starfighter because it's yellow and it's kind of a similar shape. It's not, but
that would have been cool. That was a cool ship that we never really.
I really
saw
like
more
those
of.
ships.
Yeah.
Part of me, the brief glimpses we kept getting in the pilot, I thought it looked a little bit like Poe Dameron, but then I just kept wanting it to be Jake Johnson as Joe Dameron, Poe Dameron's brother that doesn't exist.
He's going to show up eventually.
Yeah, if we're getting comedians, I mean, Jake Johnson would be fun.
Oh, Jake Johnson's so good. I mean, he was an amazing Spider-Man.
I would
maybe the amazing Spider-Man.
That's my Peter Parker is the Jake Johnson Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, Peter B. Parker.
But I mean, talking about a dichotomy with the Mandalorian, Jake Johnson would play a great opposite.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
he's not as dusky and mysterious as Oscar Isaac, but he's easy to look at.
Well, let's call up Jon Favreau right now.
Johnny Favs, you're so money you don't even know it, baby.
He gets the two concepts confused, and he casts Jake Johnson as the Ronin.
As long as
this is
Jackie
what you
Chan
guys
gets
wanted,
a
right?
Can we get Jackie Chan and Jet Li in one of these two? Can we just do? Was it Forgotten Kingdom, the one with those two? Jackie Chan and Jet Li.
I don't know.
Maybe it was Forbidden Kingdom.
That sounds right. That sounds
Forbidden
better.
Kingdom. Because I kept thinking, I was like, no, that's the Kurosawa one. I was like, no, that's Hidden Fortress.
No, yeah, that's Star Wars.
That's an adjective and a location.
I'm a little surprised. We've got like this sniper standoff. They're using a sand dune as a barrier, and like they're peeking up over the edge. She could just shoot right through that. Like that would have been.
I mean, depending on how thick it is.
Yeah.
It seems like they picked a pretty good spot to stake out. Because I was thinking about that too. Because the only point where I feel like they come close to it, there's that part where Toro stands up, and I was like, oh, is he about to get blasted in the back of the dome? But he fortunately did not.
Fine with me. Yeah.
Maybe she was taking a swig of blue milk or something. Which would be a terrible thing to drink out in the middle of the desert, I have to imagine, if it's anything like regular milk.
Yeah, maybe they have
was a
thermoses.
bad choice.
Blue milk was a bad choice.
So they decided to just basically bum rush her.
Yeah.
And then flash charges
and then
to blind
blow
her.
out her scope, yeah. Which is honestly about the only real course of action they have.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they couldn't really retreat either.
Yeah. Well, and the Mandalorian doesn't have his, rifle for long distances
No.
that could have disintegrated her.
They could have hired the Tusken Raiders to sneak up on her.
That's true.
That would have been just a great, easy jump scare.
Oh man, what if they'd like Trojan horsed her with the dewback? Like the Mandalorian like just climbs up and hides himself up under the saddle or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, march towards Chun-Li.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say literally climbed inside like a tauntaun.
I thought about that for a second.
thought
And I
that
was like,
smelled
that dewback's not going to get far with its stomach cut open. Because I did think about that. And I was like, man, then Toros is going to have to put him on wheels, and they don't have time for that.
Wheels in the desert. Yeah.
Hey, look, it's just a hollowed out dewback. It's a gift. I defer to you. And then out pops the Mandalorian and Brad Pitt.
No. We never really cut back to Amy Sedaris, and I wanted to see more of her taking care of Baby Yoda.
We get to see her in the pit droids at the beginning playing Sabacc.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Before Baby Yoda shows up. Oh, and then when she picks him up and she discovers him, we hear this little bit of music. And if you're familiar with Yoda's theme, I feel like it has a very similar cadence. And it's not really Yoda's theme, but it feels like it's made of similar parts.
Oh, I'll have to
interesting.
Like a little leitmotif or something.
Yeah.
compare those.
Do you think Amy Sedaris is the next chosen one?
Oh, maybe.
It just ends with her walking out on the dune and looking at the twin sons of Tatooine.
I don't know that I could take her seriously, even monologuing.
Oh yeah,
The most serious role I've ever seen her in is Elf.
Yeah.
When that's that's probably how she knows Jon Favreau.
That makes sense. It all comes back. Yeah, this is. I feel like we got the right amount of Amy Sedaris.
Yeah. What do you think about the hand-to-hand combat we got?
I think it was decent. I don't know if it was the combat's fault, the choreography, or if it was how it was shot. This episode and the pilot were both directed by Dave Filoni, and he's a fantastic, Star Wars storyteller. However, he's not. This is his first time directing live action, period.
Yeah.
So, and you can kind of tell that with a lot of the shots from this episode and the pilot, I could literally, in my mind's eye, envision them being transferred over into Clone Wars or into Rebels, like being in an animated format.
Yeah.
So I feel like he's still kind of getting used to the
live action limitations.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was weird too, because I honestly, until you mentioned that, I forgot that there was a hand-to-hand scene in this episode.
Yeah.
Because it's fairly brief, and the other thing too is it's dark when it happens. So I think it's as well done as it can be, but it's interesting too, because I feel like it's what that the episode of Game of Thrones was going for in the last season with the Battle of Winter or whatever it was, where you could hardly the long night, yes, where you could hardly see anything.
I had a similar thing going on here. I'm like, this is very dark.
But this actually I felt like you could see enough details, and this it made sense aesthetically. I was like, there's no real light sources out here.
Yeah,
you'd have two moons.
But at which point, why are you going for a martial arts scene at night? I don't know. I felt like they had Ming-Na win and decided, you know what, we're gonna go with it.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, I went, oh man, that seemed like a waste of.
Well, I like it because I feel like it played into kind of the chaos of the scene. Because I don't think the Mandalorian expected his bike to get taken out on the way over. So Toros had to kind of improvise, and instead of just getting the drop on her, he just ran in, which honestly is probably the only way it would have worked, because then that gave the Mandalorian the chance to
catch up,
corner him and then get the drop.
He pulled the Tusken Raider move.
Yeah, because I think if Toros had tried to get into a gunfight with her, he would have been toast.
Oh yeah, for
Like
sure.
like hand to hand was like straight up the only way he really had to.
I mean,
even the odds.
he was toast either way.
Oh yeah,
He just got less blast.
but he
burn.
was toast less quickly.
Yeah.
The hand to hand route.
I like that she had a knife to pull
Oh yeah, of
off
course.
the butt of the rifle.
Every good mercenary does.
I mean, that seems like the key.
Which and that's part of me. That's why I don't think we've seen the last of her.
I
Because
really
she had
liked
a
her
knife?
helmet too.
Yeah, her
That
helmet was
like
good.
special sniping helmet that she had.
But we've seen that in Star Wars, right? That's like the Empire sniper helmet, isn't it?
Well, the Empire snipers are biker scouts.
I've seen that helmet before.
It looks very similar to like a Death Star gunner or the for lack of a better term, air traffic controller that Jen Erso disguises herself as. But I don't know.
No, that's not. Sorry, I'm looking up the Death Star gunner. I feel like I've seen that specific helmet before, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it just feels that good in Star Wars that it seems like it's always been. But she had a knife, so therefore we'll see her again. Is what you were saying?
No. I think because there's such great potential for that character,
Yeah.
we didn't get a lot. Because like, I feel like the majority of the characters that we've seen that we know are dead so far, like we got what we were going to get out of them.
Except for IG-11.
Yeah.
You
Well, again,
keep saying he's coming back.
Well, again, we don't know that IG-11's dead. We have every reason to think that he might come back.
Yeah. No, when you were giving your case for her, I'm like, oh, this sounds like me arguing that IG-11 should come back.
Yeah, no, I think there's... Because that's the thing, too, is like how many characters outside of the main like roster so far have we really been introduced to that have any kind of staying power or like ability or reason or to bring them back.
Cara Dune, I know we're gonna see again.
Yeah, Cara Dune, absolutely.
Right.
I would be furious if she didn't come back. But yeah, I think we may see Ming Na Wen again. And then we'll get to the end of the episode. But then so they apprehend her, and then he has to leave to go retrieve the dewback, so that he has a way back to the port as well, because they can't all three ride on a swoop bike. And then we get this great master manipulator moment from her, where she tries to talk him into turning on the Mandalorian and enlisting her aid, which he does, just not the way that she'd hoped.
Yeah. Which was a legit surprise, because you expect him to actually fall for it and
Yeah.
let her go.
And it's actually the first part of it is the only intelligent thing he does the entire episode, is just killing her or shooting her on the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for the idea.
Yep. And then
He couldn't have just thrown her body over the bike though. Like, why is he
Done
leave her?
something with it.
Right,
Yeah.
like it's a
Well,
bounty.
I guess if he, because I
Wait,
feel like
does
if he
Mandalorian have the tracker? Did he end up with the no?
No,
'cause
he
breaks
smashed the
it.
tracker.
Yeah, that's right.
he
brashed
breaks
it.
because he's
got it
got
all
it
in my head,
memorized.
Yeah.
But I
Also,
guess
I
if he
don't-
got rid of her, it would question, well, what happened to everybody? And the Mandalorian might like start searching around. But if it's obvious she's dead, he's sending a message, come back and find me.
Yeah, because the other thing
Still
too is
forwent
like,
his bounty. Just
well,
to,
well, also if he's able to take the Mandalorian, which he clearly thinks he can, like that part holds true. Like he's going to get an even bigger reward.
I don't
he didn't care about,
understand.
and he even
what
says he didn't care
legend.
about the bounty before he knew about that.
Yeah.
'Cause, like he really just wanted to get in with the guild.
Mm-hmm.
But if he brings him the Mandalorian and the child, then he's going to get paid and definitely get in with the guild.
Yeah, he should have just hijacked the Razor Crest and taken the child.
Yeah.
He had access to everything.
Yep.
Yeah, the Mandalorian is consistently leaving the Razor Crest like unattended, where people
Yup.
can get in.
No kind of Batmobile security on it or
No.
anything.
next time he goes to the armorer, I want him to be like, "Can I just get like a key fob to lock this
There's
thing?" Like,
something.
Yeah.
come on.
Can we put like a rear mounted like sentry gun or something on this thing?
I left it in a bad neighborhood on our Vala 7, and Jawas took advantage of it.
Yeah, and because the other thing too is like, where do you put an unconscious body on a swoop bike? Like if they're just draped over, like who knows what that's gonna? Because those things are typically only really designed for one person to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, if she's draped over the back, what's to keep her like legs from swinging around into the exhaust or something?
You could tie her around that front part, I guess.
Like one of the blood boys in Mad Max.
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
The war boys. And then, yeah, and it's nuts too, because like, there's no way that the Toros didn't have at least an hour lead.
Oh yeah,
on the
he was
Mandalorian.
waiting. He said took you long enough when he shows up.
It's like, just drive the ship and leave, or take the child and get to your own ship.
Yeah.
Like everything you've seen so far, like, but again, that just feeds into him just being this cocky kid, and it also, like, I got shades of there's this great scene in The Outlaw Josie Wales with Clint Eastwood, where a bounty hunter tracks Josie Wales, Clint Eastwood's character, down, and Clint Eastwood even tries to talk him out of it. And he says, like, a man's got to make a living somehow. And Clint Eastwood just says to him, "Dying ain't much of a living, boy." And that's like, that's very much the vibe I got between this confrontation between Toros and the Mandalorian. And I was like, God, what? Like, yeah, just please keep snagging all these bits of westerns and just putting them in a Star Wars, please.
Yeah, I love how consistent the Mandalorian has felt throughout all of these different, very, very different interactions. He always feels capable, but not perfect.
Yeah,
he took a shot and got knocked off his bike in this episode, but still, he's cool and collected.
Oh yeah,
he knows
he's
what
very
doing.
human. Like,
Yeah.
which is great. Like, he's somewhere between like Luke Skywalker and Jedi, and like Jack Burton and Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's
That's
not
a-
quite perfect, but he's not
Yeah.
this bumbling idiot who never really does anything at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
And Han Solo's similar way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where he's like chasing the stormtroopers on the Death Star and,
And then just
gets in
180.
over his head.
yeah, but he's felt very consistent. Like I've never felt like his level of competence wavers.
No.
Where they could have easily overestimated him in this episode. Where you're obviously trying to show the difference between him and this kid. He could have felt perfect, whereas Toro's just bumbling idiot. But it didn't feel like that. And he's the one that took several risks and.
Yeah, and it's not even
got
the Toro's
knocked
bumbling. It's just that his arrogance is his downfall.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
His overconfidence is
his eyes
weakness.
got way bigger than his stomach.
Your faith in your friends is yours.
No, and this was just a nice little contained story. It felt very isolated. Most of these episodes so far have really not had a whole lot of moving
Through
parts.
line. Like the first 3 episodes are like, feels like some kind of a trilogy.
Yeah.
Whereas these 2 afterwards are.
Well, and I feel like that's fairly
Standalones.
common for dramatic or like sci-fi. Like, it's not uncommon that like the pilot will be like a 2-parter sometimes. So I mean, that all tracks. But yeah, like having these last couple episodes be like these kind of standalone stories has been really cool. And like, yeah, I'm just a sucker for this show. Like, I'm just please more. Like, I'm honestly, part of me is disappointed that we're only getting 8 episodes, but like at the same time, I could also sometimes too much is too much.
Yeah, it's the same dilemma we have with Watchmen, where it's like, all right, just give us just enough and leave us wanting.
Yep. So yeah, and then of course the Mandalorian does that great bit with the flashbang and blinds him. Then
you're
just very
smarter than you
casually
look.
like walks up beside him, shoots him from the side. Like no cool
He's cold
quips,
dude.
nothing.
No.
Just blast him.
No, like real. There's no contrived way of like, I'm gonna jump over here and then do it. Like, it's just super simple.
He just blinds him, picks up his blaster, like steps out from where the last place it was he saw him, and then just bam, cherry.
And then
picks
Amy
him.
Sedaris disappears real quick.
Yeah, oh yeah, she gets out of the way, and then Baby Yoda dives behind some boxes or whatever when Toro flies off the side of the ship.
I like the line at the end where she's telling the droids to get rid of the body.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she said, I didn't know what she was talking about at first. She's like, get rid of this thing. And I'm like, what is she talking about? Like, is there some piece of equipment? And then I'm like, oh, the body.
Go throw it in Beggar's Canyon.
With the Jawas
Which is a
hat.
terrifying version of Tatooine that we've never seen of
Yeah.
pit droids dragging a body off.
Part of me, maybe George Lucas will do a remastered version of Shadows of the Empire, the game where you get to race the swoop bike through Beggar's Canyon. You got to go through that eye.
That's exactly what I thought of when the swoop bikes were introduced. I'm like, oh, Shadows of the Empire, that level.
Yep.
I remember.
And then you're just gonna see some pit droids right before the eye of the needle or whatever that you have to jump through. That killed me 5 times before I finally landed it.
The vast majority of that.
Trying to
game.
decide if that was more frustrating or if the pod race in Lego Star Wars Episode 1 was more frustrating, because they were both pretty frustrating.
Run that by me again. What was it? Pod racing Legos?
The speeder bike in Shadows of the Empire, or the pod race level in Lego Star Wars Episode 1.
Oh, I've not played the Lego.
The Lego Star Wars are the best
games
versions of the
way
prequels.
late. Yeah. I thought you were talking at first about the 64 pod racing, which
That's a really good game.
I liked that one. Yeah.
I didn't play that one enough. But I think that came out after, it definitely came out after Shadows of the Empire, when they probably got a better handle on driving mechanics.
Playing the arcade version of that game is tricky.
Yeah.
Because you're playing like the actual, with the physics, with the levers of how you would actually, and I got really good on the N64, and every time I tried to play it in an arcade.
The trick is, if you're in the arcade and you don't yell it's working when you start the race, you just wash out after the first lap.
You don't stick your tongue in the in between those.
You don't have Sebulba throw a wrench back into your fuselage.
I'm gonna have to dig that game out again.
I think it's had a recent remaster. Maybe even on the PlayStation. I don't know.
Maybe Amy Sedaris and the Pitbots make an appearance.
Oh,
when Battlefront, when the 2015 version of Battlefront came out, we picked up the Darth Vader version of it.
Yeah.
And it came with a whole bunch of those. Like there's a Jango Fett game. There's a
Bounty Hunter.
There's the remaster
game to see how
of
quick
that.
you can get your head
Republic
cut off
Commando.
I think Super Star Wars was.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
The only way I could play the
long
Super
list of-
Star Wars games was with cheat codes.
Yeah, there's a long list of just brutal Star Wars games, whether it be to actual difficulty or just poor design. But that's another conversation for another day.
But you know what's not poorly designed is this show.
Bam! Perfect way to wrap it up.
Wow.
Yeah. And then that's the end of the episode, right?
He flies away.
He flies away, lives to fight another day.
Yeah.
Oh no! Then we get somebody
Yes.
kneeling by what's her name? Fennec's body? By Ming-Na Wen's body.
Fennec.
Yeah, Fennec Shand.
Fennec Shan, that's what it is. Wait, part of me wants to assume that that's Giancarlo Esposito's character.
It could be. Mm-hmm.
Gideon Moff, I think, is what he's billed as.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
It could
it
be
looked
Greef
like
Karga.
fairly formal wear.
Yeah.
Or like military wear, rather. Not like a space tuxedo.
Because he's wearing a cape. And Giancarlo Esposito, his character, is wearing a cape as well. Some interesting hints in there are with the sound design. The beginning of it, you hear this like computer tracking, which is pulled right from Empire Strikes Back inside Slave One. Mm-hmm. And something that I've been meaning to touch upon throughout this whole show, but we'll do it right now, is the Mandalorian, the way that he walks. They give him spurs, just like Ben Burt gave Boba Fett spurs in The Empire Strikes Back.
I thought I heard spurs at one point. I was like, why would not Boba Fett? Why would the Mandalorian have spurs? But
It's just
that's really cool.
To link him with Clint Eastwood. And those spurs were heard again with whoever this character is.
Interesting.
So they're leaning this. If I just heard this character and I didn't see it, I'd be like, it's obviously Boba Fett.
Yeah.
But if it is Boba Fett, he's wearing different stuff, so we don't know.
Yeah. It's interesting. I wonder why they didn't give Quill spurs, because we actually see him spur one of the blurgs in an earlier episode. Spur the blurg. Narfel the Garthak.
Is that actually a theory that's rolling around that kind of the big bad of the show is Boba?
Oh, big bad? I don't know, but yeah, I mean, right after we watched the episode, like I was like, it's got to be Boba Fett just from the way that it sounded.
Well, it's him surviving. That's not canon anymore, right?
No, it is not. what is canon is people taking his armor and wearing it like the Dread Pirate Roberts on Tatooine.
Oh, interesting.
On Tatooine.
Yeah. So if this is Boba Fett, he's got different armor or different costume, or maybe he's
it's
looking
Dr.
for...
Evazan.
It could be. I mean, Dr. Evazan's dead.
Oh, maybe.
Ponda Baba lost his arm and Dr. Evazan died.
Ah, yeah. Maybe it's Chirrut Imwe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's still
maybe.
alive.
He survived Star Wars Normandy.
Whatever loophole you want to jump through to get Donnie Yen back into the Star Wars
I'm
universe,
into it.
I think I'm down.
Give me Donnie Yen, baby.
He had a twin brother.
This is Johnny Yen. This is my brother, Chirrut Imwe.
Yippee.
In this one, he can see, but he can't taste anything.
Oh, they're triplets. Or it was like a see no evil, hear no evil, say no evil.
What if whoever it is just an adult Jake Lloyd playing the character?
Is Jake Lloyd around anymore?
He's
Well,
alive.
he's quit
He's
acting,
alive, yeah,
allegedly. But,
Allegedly.
in the words of Sean Connery, never say never again.
Yeah, he's had some issues lately.
Yeah,
so,
He could
health
use the
issues
money.
and all kinds of stuff.
yeah.
What other legacy characters could we drum up?
Edward Furlong could use the money.
Kitster. Wald.
We never found out what happened to Kitster.
No.
What about the human that Warwick Davis plays in Phantom Menace?
Oh, he showed up in Solo.
Oh.
What's his character's name?
It's high time he showed up again.
Yeah, but he's part of
This is a character Willow Ufgood.
No. Makes me think like Wilro Hood could be that person.
His character,
He's
the
coming for some more
leprechaun.
ice cream. But all right, so I think we should wrap this one up.
Yeah.
I think we spent more time talking about just Star Wars as a concept and/or streaming. We did
That's
the
all right.
actual
People are
episode.
really getting their money's worth this episode.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, but you can find this show at Who Watches Pod on Twitter. We are also on Instagram and Facebook. You can reach the show at whowatchespodcast@gmail.com. Ryan, where can people find more of you?
You can find me on Twitter at Harbjagen, HARBJAGEN. What about you, Dustin?
You can check out what I got going on by going to DustinMeadowsComedy.com. Check out my blog, my social links, all that good stuff, upcoming shows at DustinMeadowsComedy.com.
And don't forget, we are also covering HBO's series Watchmen, which is going to be wrapping up next week with its 9th episode, along with another episode 9. Really looking forward to both of those and continuing to coverage this series of The Mandalorian. It just keeps going places, and we don't know where it's going. It's just keeping us on our toes. So we're looking forward to Friday's episode of The Mandalorian and seeing just everywhere that this show is taking us. So until next time, initiate self-destruct sequencing.
You damage one of my droids, you'll pay for it.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to rotate that.